The evolutionary journey of elephants spans over 60 million years, marked by dramatic shifts in size, habitat, and physical adaptations, illustrating nature's ability to evolve and thrive across vast stretches of time. This story begins in the late Eocene to early Oligocene, around 37 to 23 million years ago, with one of the earliest known ancestors of modern elephants, Moeritherium. These small, semi-aquatic mammals inhabited swampy regions in northern Africa, resembling tapirs more than elephants. They were approximately 1 meter tall at the shoulder, weighed between 200 to 300 kilograms, and likely foraged for aquatic vegetation, with a short, flexible upper lip or rudimentary trunk. Moeritherium's adaptation to semi-aquatic environments, much like today's hippopotamuses, was likely a response to the warm, wet climate of their time, which provided abundant wetlands to explore. Their decline occurred as the Earth cooled and climates shifted, with Moeritherium and similar species struggling to adapt to the changing environment. The transition from swampy wetlands to drier and more open habitats caused the semi-aquatic species to dwindle, and this loss of suitable environments marked the end of Moeritherium. The evolutionary lineage of elephants, however, was far from over. Palaeomastodon and Phiomia, which appeared around 37 to 23 million years ago, bridged the gap between the primitive semi-aquatic Moeritherium and more advanced elephant-like species. Both of these genera thrived in the lush tropical habitats of what is now northern Africa. Palaeomastodon, larger and more robust, resembled a small elephant with a shorter trunk and 2 prominent sets of tusks. It likely used its tusks to dig for roots and other vegetation, slowly adapting from its semi-aquatic ancestors to a more terrestrial lifestyle. Phiomia, while slightly smaller, displayed similar adaptations, with a less pronounced set of lower tusks and a more elongated trunk. Their fossils show a slow progression towards the development of more advanced proboscidean features, including longer trunks and larger tusks. These animals were well adapted to tropical and swampy environments, feeding on the abundant vegetation around them. But they began to decline with the onset of climatic changes during the Oligocene, as the lush tropical ecosystems they depended on transitioned into drier, more open savannas. Over time, more advanced species such as Gomphotherium emerged to replace them, marking the next evolutionary step in the journey towards modern elephants. Gomphotherium, which appeared around 12 million years ago during the Miocene epoch, represented a significant evolutionary leap. This genus was distinct from its predecessors, with a unique appearance characterized by long, flat skulls and dual sets of tusks, one set in the upper jaw and another in the lower. The upper tusks curved outward, while the lower tusks had a shovel-like shape, which may have been used for digging in riverbeds to access roots and aquatic vegetation. These adaptations made Gomphotherium a versatile feeder, capable of thriving in various environments, including forests and wetlands. Standing about 3 meters tall, Gomphotherium was comparable in size to modern elephants, but with a more elongated body and shorter legs. Their adaptability was further demonstrated by their ability to migrate across continents. Fossil evidence shows that Gomphotherium spread from Africa into Eurasia and across land bridges into the Americas, occupying diverse habitats and further cementing its evolutionary success. However, despite their widespread distribution, Gomphotherium eventually went extinct around 5 million years ago, possibly due to a combination of climate change and competition from more specialized species that were better adapted to changing environments. After the decline of Gomphotherium, the next major evolutionary steps were marked by the appearance of Stegodons. These prehistoric proboscideans emerged around 11 million years ago during the Miocene epoch, evolving from earlier species like Gomphotherium. Stegodons were massive creatures, characterized by long, low skulls and straight or slightly curved tusks. Their molars were adapted for grinding coarse vegetation, a diet they likely consumed in forested and grassland habitats. Some stegodons grew to sizes comparable to modern elephants, while others, such as those on the islands of Flores, shrank significantly due to insular dwarfism. These animals lived in herds, and it is believed that they exhibited social behavior similar to modern elephants, using their tusks for a variety of functions, including defense, foraging, and possibly mating displays. The decline of stegodons began around 20,000 years ago, as the Ice Age transformed their environment. Increased human hunting, along with dramatic climatic changes that caused the loss of forested habitats, led to the extinction of these ancient creatures. However, their genetic legacy lived on in the surviving species of elephants, including mammoths and modern elephants. Mammoths, the genus of mammoths, represented the apex of proboscidean evolution during the Pleistocene epoch. The first mammoths, such as Mammuthus meridionalis, appeared around 5 million years ago, originating from a common ancestor with Gomphotherium. These early mammoths were large grazers, adapted to warm grasslands with long spiraled tusks and robust bodies. Over time, as the Earth's climate cooled, mammoths evolved into species better suited to the Ice Age environment, such as the iconic Mammothus primigenius, or woolly mammoth. These animals were perfectly adapted to cold climates, with thick fur, insulating fat layers, and smaller ears to reduce heat loss. They thrived in the tundra and steppe ecosystems, spreading across Eurasia, North America, and northern regions. Mammoths primarily fed on grasses and shrubs, consuming vast amounts of vegetation to sustain their size. Their social structure was similar to modern elephants, living in herds and using their tusks for various functions, including defense and foraging. Despite their impressive adaptations, the extinction of the mammoths began around 10,000 years ago, as the glaciers retreated and the Ice Age came to an end. As climates warmed and ecosystems shifted from tundra to forests, the habitats that sustained mammoths were lost. Combined with overhunting by early humans, this contributed to the extinction of most mammoth populations. The last known population of woolly mammoths survived on Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean until about 4,000 years ago, isolated from predators and environmental change. Their disappearance marked the end of the Ice Age giants and the transition to the era of modern elephants. The modern elephants we know today, Loxodonta africana, African elephants, and Elephas maximus, Asian elephants, are the survivors of a remarkable evolutionary journey that spans millions of years. They are direct descendants of earlier proboscideans such as Moeritherium, Palaeomastodon, Phiomia, Gomphotherium, and Stegodons, showcasing extraordinary adaptations across time. While these elephants have evolved in size, shape, and behavior, they retain essential features that link them to their ancient relatives, such as their large ears, trunks, and tusks. African elephants are divided into two species: the African savanna elephant and the forest elephant, distinguished by their size, ear shape, and subtle behavioral differences. Asian elephants, while smaller and with a more rounded body shape, share similar social structures and intelligence with their African cousins. These magnificent creatures now face the threat of extinction due to habitat destruction, poaching, and human-wildlife conflict. Their survival is intimately connected with the ecosystems they help shape and maintain. Their migration patterns, feeding habits, and social behavior continue to play a vital role in sustaining the biodiversity of the regions they inhabit. The legacy of elephants, from Moeritherium to modern-day giants, serves as a testament to life's resilience on Earth. Their evolution highlights the delicate balance between species and their environments, reminding us of the long-lasting impact of climate change, human activity, and the importance of conservation efforts. This legacy calls us to action, urging us to protect these creatures for future generations. An interesting piece of folklore regarding elephants' behavior comes from the writings of Pliny the Elder, who claimed that elephants could not endure the presence of a mouse. This idea has become deeply embedded in popular culture, often depicted in films and stories. But is it true? Considering African elephants are the largest land animals on Earth, the idea of them being frightened by something as small as a mouse seems implausible. Yet if we look closely at how humans react to certain fears, it becomes clear that even the largest creatures can have surprising triggers. According to the Global Sanctuary for Elephants, a once-held theory suggested that a mouse could crawl into an elephant's trunk, a chilling thought for anyone, but especially for an elephant with its sensitive anatomy. Fortunately, this theory is likely untrue, as elephants are capable of expelling anything from their trunks with ease, much like humans clear their nostrils. Furthermore, the elephant's fleshy epiglottis prevents small animals like mice from entering sensitive internal areas. Elephants' eyes are positioned on the sides of their heads, granting them excellent lateral vision, but creating blind spots directly in front and behind them. This means that a small creature can approach them undetected, and they may only realize its presence when it nears their feet. It's not about the animal itself, but the suddenness of its approach that startles these giants. Josh Plotnick, a researcher on elephant behavior, explains that elephants can be startled by anything that moves suddenly near their feet, whether it's a mouse, a snake, or any other small creature. It's not the mouse that causes the fear, but the shock of encountering something unexpected so close. This behavior can be better understood when we consider the elephant's environment, where they share their habitat with dangerous animals, such as the king cobra. These venomous snakes are capable of injecting enough venom to theoretically kill an elephant. And while elephants' thick skin and powerful stomps offer some protection, their trunks and young are particularly vulnerable. Therefore, like with snakes, elephants may be startled by any unexpected movement near their feet, and their immediate reaction is often to flare their ears, which, in the case of African elephants, are the largest of any animal on Earth. Thus, the idea of elephants being afraid of mice is more myth than reality. Rather, it's the unpredictable nature of any small creature's sudden movement that can cause them alarm. This reaction is not unique to elephants, but is part of the natural response to surprise, a mechanism that has served them through millions of years of evolution. From the earliest proboscideans to the magnificent elephants of today, their evolutionary journey tells a story of adaptation, resilience, and the ongoing struggle to coexist with a rapidly changing world.